Ever wondered why your child can't seem to shake off certain bad habits? Bad habits in children are more common than you might think. Indeed, they're a typical part of growing up. These habits might range from nail biting to excessive screen time, and while they may seem harmless, they should not be ignored. Habits, good or bad, are deeply rooted in psychology. They're often born out of a need for comfort or a response to stress. This is especially true for children who are still learning to navigate their emotions and their world. The influence of parents is crucial in shaping children's behavior. Your reactions and guidance can either reinforce a bad habit or help your child replace it with a healthier one. Remember, no child is perfect, and neither are we as adults. It's about progress, not perfection. As parents, understanding bad habits is the first step towards helping our children overcome them. From nail biting to excessive screen time, kids can develop a wide range of bad habits. Let's dive into some of the most common ones. First on our list is nail biting. It's a habit that often stems from nervousness or stress, and it can be a hard one to break. Children might not even realize they're doing it, especially during moments of intense concentration or anxiety. Another common habit is thumb sucking. While it's quite normal for babies and toddlers, if it continues past the age of 5, it can lead to dental problems. Like nail biting, thumb sucking is often a response to stress or discomfort, providing a sense of security and comfort. Then we have excessive screen time. With the digital world at their fingertips, children can easily get lost in hours of video games, social media, or television. This can lead to a sedentary lifestyle, impacting their physical health and also their ability to socialize effectively in the real world. Not to forget irregular sleep patterns. Whether it's staying up late on school nights or sleeping in on weekends, disrupted sleep schedules can affect their mood, performance in school, and overall health. Next up is procrastination. It's all too easy for kids to put off homework or chores, especially when there are more engaging activities at hand. This habit can lead to stress, poor performance, and a lack of responsibility. The last one we'll mention is unhealthy eating. Whether it's a penchant for sweets or a dislike for veggies, children can develop unhealthy eating habits that can lead to obesity and other health issues down the line. Each of these habits is influenced by a variety of factors, from a child's environment to their emotional state. It's important to remember that children are still learning and growing. They might not understand the consequences of their habits, or even realize they're forming them in the first place. Identifying your child's bad habits is crucial to helping them make positive changes. So, how can we help our kids break their bad habits? This is a question that often leaves parents scratching their heads. But don't worry, we've got some expert advice to guide you through this process. Firstly, it's essential to understand that breaking a habit isn't about stopping but replacing. Child psychologists suggest identifying a positive habit to replace the negative one. For instance, if your child has a habit of nail biting, try to replace it with a good habit like playing with a stress ball or a fidget spinner. The key here is replacing the old unproductive behavior with a new beneficial one. Secondly, patience and consistency are crucial. Changing a habit doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires perseverance. Make sure to consistently remind your child about the new habit and encourage them to stick with it. Keep in mind that it's normal for them to slip up sometimes. Be patient and encourage them to keep trying. Next, let's talk about positive reinforcement. It's a powerful tool in habit changing. Praise your child when they do well. Reward their efforts. This not only boosts their morale, but also makes them want to continue with the new habit. But remember, the reward should be something that motivates them, not something that could potentially develop into another bad habit. Also, experts suggest involving your child in the process. Let them choose the new habit. This gives them a sense of control and makes them more likely to stick with it. And above all, lead by example. Kids often imitate their parents, so if you're practicing good habits, there's a high chance your child will too. Lastly, it's important to remember that each child is different. What works for one might not work for another. So customizing these strategies based on your child's personality and preferences is vital. Remember, every child is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. So don't be disheartened if it takes a bit of trial and error to find the best approach. The journey of breaking bad habits is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's run it with patience and determination. As parents, we play a major role in our children's habit formation. Our influence permeates every aspect of their lives, from their mannerisms and attitudes to their habits and behaviors. So when it comes to breaking bad habits, it's not just about addressing the child's behavior. It's also about examining our own actions and considering how they might be contributing to these habits. Our children look up to us, they mimic us, they learn from us. If we have poor habits, it's likely that our children will adopt these habits too. So the first step in helping our children break bad habits is to ensure we're setting a good example. This might mean making changes in our own lives, whether it's cutting down on screen time, eating healthier, or practicing better hygiene. But our role doesn't stop there. We also need to create a supportive environment for change. This means acknowledging our child's efforts and celebrating their progress, no matter how small. It means providing them with the tools they need to succeed, whether it's a healthier snack option or a fun activity to distract them from their bad habit. And it means being patient and understanding, recognizing that breaking a habit is a journey that takes time. In addition, it's crucial that we avoid negative reinforcement. Punishing or shaming our children for their bad habits can often backfire, leading to feelings of resentment and making the habit more difficult to break. Instead, we should focus on positive reinforcement, rewarding good behavior and encouraging our children to make better choices. Remember, our children are not just following our lead, they're also watching our reactions. How we respond to their habits, both good and bad, can have a significant impact. If we react with frustration or anger, our children might feel discouraged. But if we react with support and understanding, they will feel empowered to make positive changes. In conclusion, our actions and reactions can either reinforce or help break our children's bad habits. As parents, we have the power to guide our children towards a healthier, happier future. And that's a responsibility we should never take lightly. Now let's hear some success stories of kids who have managed to overcome their bad habits. Our first story revolves around a 10-year-old boy named Liam. Liam had a persistent habit of nail biting, something that worried his parents due to the potential health risks. After trying various methods, they decided to take a different approach. Instead of scolding Liam, they gently reminded him about the habit whenever they saw him doing it. They also gave him a small stress ball to keep his hands busy. Within a few months, Liam's nail-biting habit significantly reduced. This case highlights the power of patience, gentle reminders, and finding suitable alternatives to replace the bad habit. Moving on, let's talk about Sarah, a 7-year-old girl who had a habit of excessive screen time. Sarah's parents noticed her declining interest in physical activities and her increasing obsession with her tablet. They decided to intervene by setting screen time limits and encouraging outdoor play. They introduced her to the world of books, puzzles, and board games. They also made sure to spend quality time with her, playing games and reading together. Gradually, Sarah began to enjoy these activities and her screen time reduced. Sarah's story underlines the importance of setting boundaries and offering engaging alternatives to the addictive screens. Lastly, let's consider the case of Ethan, a 12-year-old who struggled with a habit of unhealthy snacking. His parents, recognizing the long-term implications of this habit, decided to involve Ethan in meal planning and preparation. They educated him about the importance of a balanced diet. They also made healthy snacks readily available and less healthy options less accessible. Over time, Ethan developed an understanding of nutritious food and started making healthier choices. Ethan's story emphasizes the role of education and the importance of making healthy options more appealing and accessible. These stories prove that with the right approach and support, kids can overcome their bad habits. So, what have we learned today about kids' bad habits and how to help them overcome these? Firstly, understanding and identifying bad habits in kids is crucial. This means recognizing the difference between occasional misbehavior and persistent habits that may impact their well-being. Secondly, we've shared expert advice on breaking these habits. Remember, patience is key. Changes won't happen overnight, but with consistency and proper guidance, you'll definitely see progress. We've also highlighted the critical role parents play in this process. Your involvement and support are fundamental in helping your child overcome these habits. Don't forget, it's not about punishment, but about teaching and guiding them towards better behaviors. Finally, we've showcased real-life success stories to inspire and reassure you that change is indeed possible. These stories serve as a testament to the power of perseverance and the positive impact of parental support. Remember, as parents, our support and understanding can make all the difference in helping our kids break their bad habits. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you found this information helpful.